Skol Nation, buckle up. This one's got the whole NFC North buzzing with that raw edge we live for. The air in Minnesota is thick with the kind of tension that only comes from a divisional bloodbath, where every hit lands like a thunderclap and grudges simmer long after the final whistle. The Vikings just clawed their way through a gritty showdown at Ford Field against the Lions. But it's not the score that's got fans fired up, it's the fire in the aftermath, the kind that echoes from the locker room straight to your screen. Something went down on that field that crossed a line, and it's stirring up the purple pride like never before. If you're a part of this crew, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and join the conversation. This community runs on real fans like you. Now at the heart of this storm, Andrew Van Ginkel, the edge rusher who's just back from the sidelines and already throwing haymakers, verbally speaking. What unfolded in Detroit wasn't just a play. It was a flashpoint that Van Ginkel couldn't let slide, calling it out as dirty in no uncertain terms right to the reporters' faces. Picture this. It's the fourth quarter, the game's hanging by a thread, and Van Ginkel is barreling down on the Lions' offense like a freight train. He's locked in, pass rushing with that relentless drive that made him a beast last year. But out of nowhere, bam, a blindside block from wideout Caliph Raymond clips him hard, sending him into a whiplash spin. He hits the turf, but does he stay down? No way. The guy's got that Viking grit. He pops up, spots the ball in Jahmyr Gibbs' hands on the screen, and fights through to make the stop anyway. 3 tackles on the day, a QB hit, a tackle for loss, not monster numbers, but in his first game back since week 3, it's the spark we've been waiting for. But that block, it lit a fuse. Post-game at TCO Performance Center, Van Ginkel didn't mince words. "I kinda thought it was a dirty play," he said, his voice carrying that edge of frustration we've all felt after a cheap shot. "Obviously, getting hit on the side, I'm just going to pass rush and all of a sudden I get whiplash because a guy blindsides me. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but I wasn't too pleased with it, and I think that it's something that the league should look at if it's something they need to take out of the game, because we can't be doing that." You can hear the horns echoing in those words, the call to protect the Warriors on the front lines. This isn't just personal, it's about the integrity of the game we love. Van Ginkel's not one to back down, especially after grinding through a neck injury that sidelined him for most of the season. Remember 2024? The guy was electric, teaming up with Jonathan Greenard to form one of the league's deadliest edge duos. Sacks piling up, tackles for loss, even a pick-six that had US Bank Stadium erupting. That's the form he's chasing, and with a fresh 1-year, $23 million extension in his pocket, mostly guaranteed at $22.4 million, he's got every reason to fight back to that level. Coach Kevin O'Connell saw it too, pulling up the clip for the team to break it down. "I showed the team a clip of him today," O'Connell shared. "He got hit from outside, got knocked from kind of a blindside block on a screen, and he's on the ground but still recognizes that Gibbs had the ball on a screen and he makes the play. That's leadership, that's heart, the kind that defines Skol Nation." Van Ginkel's PFF grades backed it up. A 75.1 overall defensive mark, 80.6 in run defense, 73.2 in pass defense, all season highs. Sure, his pass rush efficiency dipped to 61.9, but this was just the warm-up. The rust is shaking off, and with health on his side, those big plays are coming. As the Vikings push forward in this grueling NFC North slate, Van Ginkel's return feels like a turning point. The division's a meat grinder: Lions, Packers, Bears all circling, but with edge rushers like him stepping up, Minnesota's defense is priming for a roar. Fans, you feel that electricity. It's the sound of the horns, the pulse of purple pride rebuilding. Van Ginkel's not just talking, he's backing it with action, reminding everyone why we bleed for this team. The league might review that block, but more importantly, the Vikings are reviewing their blueprint for dominance. Stay tuned, because this fire, it's just getting started. Diving deeper into the fray, let's talk about what this means for the Vikings' defensive identity moving forward. Van Ginkel's emergence last year wasn't a fluke. It was the result of scheme, talent, and that unyielding Minnesota toughness. Paired with Greenard, they terrorized quarterbacks, turning pressures into chaos. But injuries have a way of testing resolve, and this neck issue has been a brutal hurdle. Yet here he is, week 9 at Ford Field, not just surviving but thriving in the trenches. Those 3 combined tackles might not scream superstar, but context is king. First action in weeks against a Lions line that's no joke. The tackle for loss, that's the Van Ginkel we know, sniffing out runs and shutting down lanes. His comments on the blindside block ripple beyond the personal gripe. In a league where fines fly for helmet to helmet and roughing the passer, this raises questions about the gray areas. Blindside hits are part of the game, sure, but when they risk whiplash on a pass rusher locked in, that's where the line blurs. Van Ginkel's plea to the NFL isn't whining. It's a veteran's voice calling for fairness, protecting the players who give everything. Skol Nation knows the stakes. We've seen too many seasons derailed by dirty tactics. If the league listens, it could clean up the edges, making the product better for all 32 teams. O'Connell's response shows the coaching staff's got Van Ginkel's back. By highlighting the clip in team meetings, he's turning adversity into a teachable moment, emphasizing resilience over retaliation. That's the Vikings way under KOC: smart, adaptable, fierce. And with Van Ginkel's contract security, that $23 million vote of confidence from the front office, he's locked in to build on 2024's highs. Imagine the duo reformed, Van Ginkel and Greenard healthy and hungry, picking apart offenses like they did before. Stats from last year don't lie. Multiple sacks, TFLs, that pick six that swung momentum. Health is the key, and this Lions game was proof he's turning the corner. PFF's grades paint a promising picture too. That 80.6 run defense score, elite territory, stuffing David Montgomery and holding the Lions' ground game in check. The overall 75.1 is solid for a rusty return, and even the pass defense 73.2 shows he's reading plays like a chess master. The pass rush dipped to 61.9, chalk it up to limited snaps and getting bearings. Give him a full workload and watch the efficiency climb. The Vikings D-line needs this, with injuries plaguing the unit early. Van Ginkel's return injects stability and swagger. Zooming out to the bigger narrative, this NFC North clash was more than a win, it was a statement. The Lions are beasts, but Minnesota matched their physicality, and Van Ginkel embodied that fight. His hype for the crowd at US Bank Stadium in past games, that's the energy returning. Fans under the horns chanting Skol as the defense swarms, it's electric. As the season wears on with playoffs looming, a healthy Van Ginkel could be the X-factor, turning good into great. For the Torsada, this hits home. We've endured the injury blues, the close calls, but moments like this reignite the fire. Van Ginkel's not just a player, he's a symbol of perseverance, calling out wrongs while delivering on the field. The blindside block fuels the rivalry, sure, but it also spotlights the warrior spirit. Skol Nation, let's rally, subscribe, like, discuss. What's your take on the play? Should the league step in? This community's voice matters. As the Vikings gear up for the next battle, Van Ginkel's story is far from over. From injury setback to sideline sentinel, he's scripting a comeback that echoes through the division. The horns are blowing louder, the purple wave rising. In Minnesota, football isn't just a game, it's a saga of grit and glory. Van Ginkel's leading the charge, and with fans like you behind him, the Skol chant will shake the league. Here's to the return, the fire, and the fights ahead. Purple Rain continues.